All right, it's time for my weekend rant, as I usually have a rant every weekend about how life is going and what I'm thinking about. So, I'm kind of stressed out at the moment, and here's why. Okay, first of all, now I survived work this past week. It was not bad because it was a non overtime week at work, and I'm actually doing pretty good at work. And I even walked to work yesterday to save money because I'm trying to not spend money on Uber rides if I don't have to. Unless it's like really cold, I'm going to plan on walking pretty much every day. And as the weather gets warmer, it'll be easy. It's almost February and it probably won't start getting really warm till March, but I'll do the best I can because I don't like having to spend $7 every day just to go to work. Um, so anyway, I'm I'm doing good at work, and however, I seem to have a little bit of a problem with people who won't leave me alone. So, and this is outside of work. So I'm at work all the time, all during the week, Monday through Friday. I, I'll be, getting off at midnight. I will come home, have to eat something, take a shower, try to get to bed, and then I'll sleep till about noon usually, and then I wake up. But the problem is, every morning I try to check my text messages and my emails, and as a result, I don't get much else done. I have not been replying to my mom's email, so then she calls me and wonders why I have if I've read her emails and replied. And then at the same time, I have Monique sending me lots of emails and text messages, and it's crazy. So it's just stressful because just managing my finances and my job, getting to and from work safely, and buying the food and drinks I need, and paying my bills. That's enough for me to manage. Okay, I don't need added stress. So here's the thing. So on one hand, I have Monique pestering me and trying to talk me into giving up drinking soda and sending me horrible links about the Coca-Cola company and their unethical practices. On the other hand, I have my mom wanting me to buy her more pot because she's out. And part of that's my fault too because I bought her some pot last time I visited her, but then I drank a lot of it too. So basically, I'm bad for drinking pop, according to Monique. But I'm also bad because I didn't leave my mom enough of the pop, so I have to buy her more. So, so basically, I'm in trouble. I've been very naughty. Um, and yeah. So basically, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things. So basically, yeah, it's just been crazy because work is hard enough, and I haven't gotten my W-2 form from Hy-Vee yet. I hope I get that in the mail soon, or maybe it's available to pick up at Hy-Vee. But I have that. I'll need that and my other W-2 form from my new job, so I can file my taxes. Because financially, here's the thing: I have not fully recovered from the financial hit of getting my apartment, and part of that is because I had to use my credit card, but then it seems like I'm paying off my credit card, when I get my paycheck, but then I pay my bills, but then I run out of money, have to start using my credit card again. And I don't want that to happen anymore. And then there's the fact that I've had to spend so much money on Uber rides, partly because of getting rides to work because it's cold. Um, in the summer, this wouldn't be an issue at all, obviously. And then the trips out to Lee Summit to visit my mom. That's another thing. It costs me about $15 each way if I get an Uber ride. And sometimes you can get a Lyft ride, but I've even had times where Lyft is more expensive than Uber. It all depends on what you get, and how the conditions are. So there's that. So there's the cost of that, and I try to save money by talking my friends into giving me rides instead of having to Uber. So it's really embarrassing. So that's the thing is my so I have to visit my mom and do grocery shopping for her, and sometimes I don't feel like it. I really would just rather stay home on Sundays, honestly. But she needs help and she doesn't have a car. So there's that issue. So trying to help my mom, and then trying to figure out how to handle my friend trying to talk me out of drinking soda. That's another thing. But specifically about the fact that I drink a lot of Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. I have been thinking about this heavily, but I want to make sure that if I quit drinking pop, I don't know if that day will really come. But I want to make sure it's not because Monique told me to. I mean, she and my other friends have told me for years that I should not be drinking that stuff. And so I want to talk just a little bit about this. Now, people have sent me numerous links about the health things, about Coca-Cola, for example, and how unhealthy it is. But the links they send me are almost always about the regular Coca-Cola that has the high fructose corn syrup or loads of sugar. I don't drink that. I drink the diet stuff. But then people are like, oh, well, aspartame is even worse for you. And first of all, I have researched aspartame so extensively, and I have not found anything that has convinced me to stop drinking the stuff just because of aspartame. First of all, those two amino acids, aspartic acid and phenylalanine, are in a lot of common vegan protein powders. A lot of health supplements have those amino acids. They're not harmful in and of themselves anyway, so I'm not convinced about that. But I do know that I want to cut back on the amount of pop I drink. And that is not so much a health thing, and it's not so much about the sustainability practices of the companies or not, but to save money. Because I'm trying to do whatever I can to reduce spending money. So here's the thing is, I know I have a massive caffeine addiction. And that's been true for years. So I have been known some days to drink 3 bottles, 3 2-liter bottles of Coke Zero or Pepsi or Diet Pepsi or whatever in one day. I have done that before, and part of that is because, when I'm having a really hard time getting myself going, there is nothing that I have ever experienced that pumps me up like drinking pop, because I don't know, there's just something about it. Now there's the caffeine, and when you drink a whole 2-liter of any pop that has caffeine, that is a lot of caffeine. You have to understand a whole bunch of that. It works. Caffeine works. Let me tell you, when I drink a whole bottle of that stuff in the morning, it gets me awake. And then I have to work the night shift at my job. You know what I mean? I have some days, I will bring a whole 2-liter with me, and then I'll have it on lunch break. I'll drink the whole thing in my half an hour lunch break. Seriously. And then when I do, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. Let me tell you, all that energy I get from the massive amount of caffeine really, it gets me through my work. That's why I do so good. I'm pushing the Streamliner full of files faster than anybody else can. That's because I'm high on caffeine. Basically, that's how I get through my job. So I am heavily dependent on caffeine. So here's the thing. It has been over 24 hours since I had my last bottle of Coke Zero, and I I had a massive headache when I woke up today, And so I mixed fruit juice with coffee grounds. I bought myself some coffee at CVS. Like, it's a whole big thing of coffee for $7 I bought. That will probably last me a few months. And I got myself a bit a big scoop of coffee grounds, put it in my shaker cup, and yeah, so I consumed a lot of coffee grounds. And so that I do feel that gave me a little bit of a caffeine boost. Otherwise, I would not even be recording this video right now, because let me tell you, when I don't have my caffeine, I am not the person you all know and hate. Um, I am a person you would hate much worse. Yeah, I can get cranky and I can get mean when I don't have my caffeine. And this is why I need to live alone as I do this experiment. See, if I can use the coffee to get myself my caffeine that I need in the morning, then I may be able to spend less on the on Pepsi and Coke and stuff like that. I really like pop. Now, it's not just the caffeine about pop that I like. It's also that bubbliness. So there's the bubbliness of carbonated water. It really makes you feel good. Let me tell you, when I have an upset stomach, sometimes, especially when I'm sick and I have an upset stomach, drinking water just makes me feel worse. But when I drink something carbonated, all that bubbly just goes to my insides and it just cleans everything out. And then I have like a massive diarrhea, and then I feel better. So that's the thing is, there's that carbonated aspect of it, and then there's the high caffeine content of it as well. And I have probably consumed more energy drinks and bottles of Coke or Pepsi than is healthy. I'll be the first to admit that. So now, to all the people who have told me throughout the years and sent me tons of links about how harmful this stuff is for your health, I gotta say, I will admit what I do is not healthy, and I am not going to justify what I do. Okay, other people, they try to minimize or justify their actions, and I'll be the first to tell you that I know that I have a bad addiction to caffeine, and I really love my pop, and I don't like what I'm seeing, the links I've read. I don't like what I see the Coca-Cola company do. But it's very tricky because it's very hard to persuade me on this issue, because I am not persuaded lightly. I want to put this out there. This is very important, what I'm about to say, so pay close attention. I am a very stubborn horse, and I do not change my ways lightly. Now, you have to understand, I've made some huge changes in my life. There are many transitions in my life that I've gone through. There was, going from someone raised Christian to being atheist, and then there was me going vegetarian and then vegan, and learning about all kinds of things. Now, but when I went vegan, it was not because somebody kept telling me to go vegan and sent me dozens of links. No, I simply saw somebody else mention that word in an abortion debate group, telling me I was a hypocrite for being pro-life if I wasn't vegan. And I didn't know what that word meant, so I was Googling vegan, and I found books, I found documentaries about veganism, and then I found out what was done to the animals. And it was always about the animals. I want to make that clear. When I went vegan, which is probably the biggest change I ever had in my life, it was not for health, and it was not for the environmental aspect. It was a simple fact that buying meat, dairy, eggs, and honey does cause the death. It does directly cause the death of many animals. It causes, you're paying for the breeding of these animals, the confinement and slavery of these animals, and the final killing of these animals. So basically, I had to give up eating all animal products. Otherwise, I was murdering. Because once I know that information, I couldn't just keep eating stuff that was going to cause the murder of these animals. Once I became aware of this. Now, here's the thing: is people people often like to promote veganism for the reasons of environmentalism, reducing climate change, reducing pollution, or they try to promote it for health reasons. But I personally, this is just who I am not somebody who is won over by arguments about these things. Now, of course, there are great health benefits to eating plants instead of animal products. And of course, it's better for the environment. It doesn't contribute to climate change as much when you are eliminating, animal agriculture. If everyone went vegan, yeah, climate change might actually be reversed. Who knows? But they're not convincing to me. It's only the ethics and not wanting to be a murderer is the only reason I went vegan in the first place. Now, when it comes to the Coke or Pepsi issue, it's just a little bit different because I don't know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, there is nothing particularly about buying Coke or Pepsi or other brands of soda. There are others, though they're less well known, that causes the death of animals directly. Because as far as I know, there's no animal ingredients in these things. I know that the caffeine at some point has to come from coffee beans or something that has caffeine. So I know they're extracting the caffeine from somewhere, obviously. And the carbonated water, I don't know all the details and the science of all this stuff. All I know is that this stuff makes me feel great. It gets rid of any headache and it gets rid of any stomach ache. It's like the miracle food to me. That's why I have drank a lot more soda than is healthy because, and I'm trying to make efforts to change that. So I'm doing this experiment with coffee. I've gone over 24 hours without having any pop, and I used my coffee. I also bought myself some tea. I bought myself some fruit juice and tea. So I have other things I'm trying to drink. I can drink water, I can drink fruit juice, and I can drink tea that has some caffeine. So I think if I drink enough of these other things, then I won't drink as much pop. So I'm going to see how long I can go. Maybe I'll get through today without having any pop. We will see what happens, but I don't want to promise myself or anyone else that I won't drink pop anymore because that's a really hard sell because I like the stuff. I like the taste, I like the caffeine boost, I like the bubbly feeling, and it provides it all in this really nice package. I mean, seriously, I love it so much that I could be a spokesperson for these companies to sell their products because it's so great. But at the same time, I will look more into the research of this because I am concerned about the ethics, but it's kind of weird because it's not the same because I can see with the meat, dairy, eggs, and honey how that causes the death of animals, but theoretically, companies could theoretically improve their sustainability practices, like if they're taking too much water from certain places or whatever. I would think that the solution in this case would not be for everyone to completely quit drinking soda, but instead for the soda companies to be forced to be more accountable in what they do so that their ingredients are healthy and don't cause environmental problems or ethical problems. That's what I think would be the solution in this case. And I could be wrong. Maybe the day will come where I do give up all soda. Maybe I find alternatives. But that's just something I really wanted to say because I have been pestered about that issue for a really long time, and so that's why I spent so much time in this video talking about it. And then there's also the 5G thing. Monique is very concerned about this 5G wireless technology damaging our brains, and has sent me links about that as well. And I don't think we could stop it even if we did try and protest about that. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a show with Monique later, and you may also see on my channel about a 5-minute video that we did while she was at a 5G protest. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, that is my rant for this weekend. So that's what's going on, and I'm gonna stay home today and try to get some rest and catch up on anything that I've been needing or wanting to do. And then I have to visit my mom tomorrow, whether I want to or not. I kind of owe her because I did drink her pop up. So yeah, that's what's going on. Anyway, I hope somebody's enjoyed my rant. Bye.